I get two real common questions on this video that you just watched about the dead HP computer. And that is, how come you didn't check the RAM first? So let me address that real fast. If I had checked the RAM first, it wouldn't have been an educational video on how to properly diagnose. And many people who are not technical people coming to learn would think that's always the fix, when it isn't. So it was an opportunity to show the diagnostic procedure that I've been using over the last 30 years that's kept me in business and busy in business for, it's nearly 30 years, nearly 30 years. The second comment is, how come you snapped the RAM module in half? How do you know it wasn't the memory socket? I would advise you to go back and listen again at 12 and a half minutes into the video when I explain the customer did not ask for the system to be fixed. I just wanted to know why it wasn't. It was my own personal curiosity. The customer is actually a friend of mine. And the friend says, hey, can you pull some data off of this computer? It won't turn on anymore. And I said, yeah, get the computer to me and I'll pull the hard drive out and put it in a USB docking station and extract the data. So he gives me the computer and I said, listen, if I happen to get this running, could you just pull the data yourself? Because I'm really busy and I have other things to do. And he says, yeah, and I would do it myself if it would turn on. I know how to do it, I just can't get it to turn on. So I thought, you know, this would be a great opportunity to make a video to show a diagnostic procedure that I use, that I've learned the hard way. I'm going to share that with you for free. And then once I get the machine to boot, I'm stopping. That's it, I'm out. The customer did not ask for that machine to be fixed. But now that it boots, I can immediately give the machine back and go, it's all yours, do what you want to do with it. The snapping of the RAM module is done for effect. There's a lot of people I've run into who do what I do, and they are some of the cheapest. They don't value their time. They just feel like, I don't know, we have a disconnect between myself and what would be considered a regular computer technician. I like to think of myself as an anti-computer tech. I don't like the dehumanizing behavior and bottom of the barrel mentality that a lot of technicians have, that they will spend countless amounts of their precious time here on earth working with obsolete hardware under the impression they're getting away with something. It's just an exercise in more frustration, and even when it works, when you finally get this old piece of hardware to work, it won't be reliable and it will be very, very slow, and it'll probably have all kinds of security issues with it. And people will use their excuses, you know, I don't have money, I have time. And I'm saying you don't have any money because of how you spend your time. As long as you think like that, you'll always be broke. So I did that as sort of an in-your-face to the technical people that they like to police. Some of you may not be aware of this, but there are technical people who will police videos to see if they're accurate to what they believe should be. Like I'm supposed to qualify my videos to Fly Guy 23 and get his approval. And if I don't have his approval, he's going to let me know. I don't know what's going through the minds of people. The videos are free and they're real. I actually run a business. I'm a real person with a real name that you can verify on Google as a teacher, an instructor, an author, and a technician, and of course a YouTube personality now. So, and a nationwide radio show host on technology. So I don't say that to boast. I say that to establish why what I'm saying carries more weight than what a stranger on the internet says over free content they voluntarily watched and then they want to complain about it. And I'm supposed to take their complaint as if they're my peer or they're somebody I look up to, or I didn't wake up this morning and go, man, I wonder what Fly Guy 23 thinks of my video. So I don't know what people are thinking. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify those two things. And the information was there right at 12 and a half minutes in the video. I explained it. But I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know why that video is so popular, but I thought I would just tag this on to the end. And this is a video you can only see if you've watched the dead computer repair diagnostic. And if you're one of the people who didn't get it, well, don't feel alone. There are thousands of you. But I hope that you understand now what the logic was in that, and that was fixed for free, and it established ultimately what the customer needed, which was if it would turn on, they could extract the data from it and then get rid of it. Thank you so much again for watching, and please read comments before leaving one. That would be really helpful. For that reason, I've got comment moderation turned on, because people think they have a right to be heard, but they don't tell you what makes them worth hearing, you know? And it's a real problem, because everybody thinks their opinion matters. But if you haven't established who you are, don't expect me to take anything you say worth anything. And until you become a customer of mine or you're paying for this content, not really interested. And if you would be bold enough to make a YouTube video and endure this kind of harassment, I think if you're disagreeing with me now, then you've never done this. Because I think once you do it, you'll be like, he's spot on that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you continue to enjoy my content. I'll see you all again very, very soon.